Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I almost got robbed in Buenos Aires. So it starts like this. I was walking. I was actually heading towards a friend's house just to like hang out with them. So I took the train, and it was four stops, and then I had to get out. So I took the train. On the third stop, I don't know what happened, but I got out on the train station, and then when I got out, I realized I was one stop too early. So just where I got out, the light was turned off. That's the first thing on the train station. It was a pretty big train station, pretty long train station. So I got out, I stood there, and I realized that the light was either not working or turned off. And then it was pretty close to the exit to the neighborhood, but it wasn't a neighborhood I knew because I never been there before. Because I mean I'm pretty new in Buenos Aires here still, so yeah, I don't know much neighborhoods. And close to the exit, a little bit further down the stairs, I noticed a guy sitting with a red jacket on. He was sitting alone in a corner. And then on the other side, further down the train station, there were some people with families, some kids and all that. It was around 8:15 at 9 p.m. So I stood there waiting for the next train because I knew the next train would leave the train station at 2020, 8:20 p.m. So 5 minutes after that. So it was just 5 minutes waiting. But those 5 minutes seemed like the longest time I've ever experienced. So I've been standing there waiting for the next train to come to arrive. After a few minutes, the guy that was sitting close to the exit comes near, walks behind me and goes sitting right behind me on a seat that was there. I didn't sit on that bench because it was facing the other way, so I wouldn't be able to pay attention to the train that was coming on the side that I was supposed to get on. It was facing the other side, so I didn't sit on that bench. So I kept standing there, and the guy was sitting. I noticed just for the simple fact that he stood up from there and came up to sit next, behind me, was kind of weird. But I didn't really mind it. And then I noticed that he was sitting like in a way that he could observe me, that he could look at me. All those things happening in the corner of my eye. So yeah. So then at 8:19 p.m., I had to actually go to the bathroom, and I noticed a green door further down the train station, with a sign that seemed like, hey, there's a bathroom here. So I went to decided, okay, I'm gonna look if it's a bathroom so I can take a pee. But when I arrived there, where the family were sitting, I decided, nah, I'm just gonna wait until I reach my final destination to take a pee. So I sat on the bench that was close to the family over there. There was one bench on my left hand, and like a building with both ends open, with a few benches on the inside where a bunch of people were sitting with kids and all those things, like a whole family. So I sat between them. I noticed in the corner of my eye, I noticed the guy that was sitting behind me followed me and came to sit right next to me, and he told me, hey, I got a gun, give me your things. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he told me he wanted to steal, he wanted to rob me. And then so I pushed him and stood up, and I noticed the gun. He was showing me the gun, and then he hid it back in his jacket. So like, okay, I got scared at the point. Of course I got scared. So I was standing there, and the guy, he stood up. When I stood up, he stood up also, but he went the other way. So it was like there's the two of us, and then there's the benches between us, and behind me there was this guy sitting in black, but he was also facing the other side of the train station. So between us was the two benches, and then us like walking around the benches so that he couldn't get to me. For some reason, I stood still. I don't know why. I stood still, and he came to me and he said, "Give me everything you have. I'll shoot you." Well, of course in Spanish, but I'm translating it for you in English. "I'll shoot you." I said, "I don't have anything." He said, "Give me everything you have." And I told him again, "I don't have anything. I'm a student. I don't have anything. I mean, literally, I don't have anything. I don't like to walk around with a lot of money, cash in my pocket." So before leaving, and also I don't really like walking without cash in my pocket. So before leaving my house, I grabbed like 100 peso to have something in my pocket because you never know what can happen. So I had 100 peso in my pocket and my phone. That's all I had, and a bottle of curacao liquor that I was bringing to my friend. So yeah, and I told him, and then I told him I don't have anything, and then he told me, "Give me your phone," and I was looking on the train track to see if the train was coming. Like, oh my god, please train arrive now because I have to leave. And then I looked back at him and I said very calmly that very calmly, I don't know why I was so calm, but very calmly told him, leave me alone, please. And then I don't know why or what occurred to him or anything, but then he told me to leave from there, to get away from there. So I gladly walked away from there to the other side. And then on the other end of the building, I told the family that was sitting there, everyone that's sitting there, to like be aware because that guy has a gun. So I warned them. And then I stood there, I kept observing the guy, and then I realized that he started talking with the other guy that was sitting behind us, so the guy wearing in black. And then, so at that moment, I didn't really realize it, but then after analyzing the situation, I realized that that means that they were actually together, and that's why the guy stood still while he was trying to rob me, because he knew what was happening actually. So yeah, and then he made a final, because we were across. I was on one side of the building, of in the middle of the train station, and then he on the other side. And then he made another sign to me like, "Hey, go away from here." I kept standing there, and then he walked away. I was like, "Oh gosh, thank God." And then one of the father, I suppose it was the father of the family, came and then he talked to me and I explained what happened and all that stuff. And he said, "Just get on the next train and leave." And I said, "Yeah, I definitely will, because I just have to get to the next train station." So yeah, and then I got the train. The train came like 5 minutes later, but that felt more like 50 minutes. But yeah, the train came and then I left there. So he didn't rob anything from me, didn't get anything from me. But the important thing is that I still don't understand why he let me go just like that. I mean, if you have a gun, he was saying all the time, I will shoot you," but he didn't shoot me, and I still don't understand why he let me go like that. And so yeah, and then all those. I mean, I've been living here since August of last year, and then December I went back to my country for vacation, and I came back like exactly 1 week ago, because right now it's Monday 7:40 a.m. and I'm actually preparing to go to school, to class, because we start back today. So exactly 1 week ago I came back, but since August and December I never felt like unsafe ever in Buenos Aires. Wherever I go, I never really felt unsafe. But before coming to Buenos Aires, because studying alone in Curacao, they give you like, it's a beautiful country by the way. You have to visit Curacao. It's very very beautiful. But anyway, before coming here, they gave us like a small self-defense class, and the guy, before he gave us the actual class, he said, wherever you go, you have to like categorize your zone. We have green alert, where you feel safe but you're still alert. You have yellow alert, where you don't feel safe but you don't really feel unsafe either. And then there's red alert, where you actually like, you don't feel unsafe, you really feel unsafe, and you're like really alert about what's happening around you. And that's when, for example, you're walking in a dark alley at night alone. For example, like that's where you have to be in like red alert. So I took that since that day, but unconsciously I was always zoning my environment in like one of those three categories. So when I got on the train station, I immediately knew that okay, this is a red alert. Even though there was a lot of people there, and there was only one light that was turned off and not working, which is where the guy was, and which is where I was standing previously. So there was only one place, one light that wasn't working, but I immediately sensed, okay, this is a red alert. So I always in alert about what's happening around me. That's why I saw the guy walking and came to sit behind me. That's why I realized that he followed me and all those things. So yeah, and then, but since the day I came back last week, I always was thinking about what would I do if they tried to rob me? I don't know why, but I always was thinking that since the day I came back to Argentina. And the day yesterday, before leaving my apartment, before closing the apartment building, I asked myself, should I bring my pocket knife? Because I had a pocket knife back then, and when I came back from Curacao, I brought another one, which is this one, which is a lot more sharper. So I thought, should I bring my pocket knife with me or not? I thought about it twice and said, nah, I'm gonna go without it. And then on the train station, in the train while I was sitting waiting for to reach the train station, I was thinking, what would I do if they attack me right now? And the only thing I could think of was the bottle of the Curacao liqueur that I had. That it's the glass bottle, and it's pretty hard glass, so I could actually hit you in the head with it and without breaking the bottle. It's pretty hard. So yeah, I said, okay, if they attack me, that's what I'm gonna use. But and then all those things happening during this week, during that week, and then during that day, and then it actually happened in real life. like they tried to rob me. He didn't get anything. I stood there very calmly, like less than 20 centimeters, just like less than 8 inches away from him, talking to him, which he allegedly had a gun, but I felt it was fake. But of course, in that moment, you don't really know what's if it's real or fake. Afterwards, I thought it was probably fake. So yeah, and then talking very calmly to him to say like, "Hey, leave me alone, please," and then let me go, which I still don't understand why. But the lesson, it's already 10 minutes going on. So, but the lesson I want you guys to get out of this that you have to like enjoy life. You never know when it's gonna be your last day, because I literally could have died yesterday. You never know what could have happened or how different things that could have gone that day, yesterday. So you have to enjoy every moment of your life, enjoy everything you have, appreciate, be grateful for everything you have, because you may think you have it bad, but there may be people that have it worse, that put it in situations such as that guy, that they have to go rob people to like help them out of their situation. So always be grateful whatever you have. And as an architecture student, what I got out of it is that how the city is planned really makes a difference. I mean, on one side of the train station, it was like an empty terrain with further ahead you there had was there were some cargo trains, so there was no human life in there. And then on the other side of the train station, there were more houses and a little park for little kids. But it was so abandoned, so there was like no one walking outside. So it really felt like an abandoned place. Even though there were a lot of people on the train station, you were still feeling like sensing like, oh, there's a weird vibe here. So how you plan the city really makes a difference. And for that one light that wasn't working, it made everything feel like less safe. And even it wasn't even like midnight. It was 8:20 p.m. The sun just got down like 40 minutes, like 30 minutes before that. So I don't know, but yeah. So as an architecture student, that's what I got away from it. And also, what I got away from it is to never, ever, ever leave my house without Hurley again. Oh, I call it Hurley because that's the name of the neighborhood where the train station where the thing happened yesterday. So this is Hurley, and I'm never leaving my house without it. So thank you all for watching, and this was my story about how I almost got robbed in Buenos Aires.